Coach, thanks for being with us today. Appreciate you having us out. It's a beautiful facility that you guys got up here that we're shooting in. So just kind of jump on into it. So, so we're looking at 1983, Eastwood Christian High School.
Right.
Kind of where you got your start when it comes to coaching. You've experienced a lot since then, a lot over the years and stuff. Kind of tell us about, some of the experience. Would you ever have thought you'd experience that much in football coaching?
Oh my gosh. I was a coach's kid, so that probably helped me in the process of thinking I might do it someday. But my folks were pretty intent that, you go get you a degree and do something that'll pay you some money, and thought that would happen. Got my degree at Tulsa and went to work for FCA and loved that. And then a buddy of mine that I'd played with called out of the blue. He was on the school board at Eastwood Christian here in Tulsa. And, have we got a deal for you kind of deal. And I jumped in it with both feet. I loved every bit of it. We weren't very good when we started. Only won 2 games first year. But that set in motion a real heart for coaching. I did it for a couple of years and the school closed down. Then I went to Sapulpa for a year and worked with Steve Spavital, who was a brand new head coach himself, and really learned a lot about coaching from Spav. And then had a chance to go back to my hometown in Spiro and coach there. That really kick-started it. Going back to your question though, I remember the year I went to Sapulpa, I went up in the bleachers and I stood there and I looked, I'm like, this is big time football. I'm at a big school.
I've made it.
And I'm looking out there and I'm like, how cool is that gonna be? I had no idea what would happen over the next 35 years, or 36 years. Been doing it 39 now.
Yeah, an incredible career. There's no question about it. And still more to write, so that's what I love.
Yeah.
6th season here, going into this year here at Owasso. I know obviously last year kind of got knocked out a little bit earlier in the playoffs and was hoping. How was the off season? How was the focus from the players?
Well, the off season was longer than we wanted it to be. Because we don't like losing that first round.
Right.
Certainly tip our hat to the guys at Broken Arrow, and they played extremely well. And we had to have an early exit for what we'd gotten used to. I was proud though, our guys have really seemed to be hungry. I think there's something to that. I think you've got to have a little chip on your shoulder and be hungry. And maybe we were a little entitled before. And this group, there's not a lot of proven players. The ones we have are pretty special, but a lot of new guys trying to prove themselves. And I think that hunger is going to serve us well. It has this summer.
Talked to a lot of coaches about this over the years. And what are expectations going into this season? A lot of coaches are like, our only expectation is winning a championship. That's our only goal.
Yeah.
Other coaches are, we've got multiple goals throughout the season. I mean, how do you run that with your team? How do you preach that to your kids? Well,
we try to embrace the process. I think I learned this earlier in my coaching years. Back at Union, we would usually play Jinx early in the season, maybe the first or second game. Over the years, through that course of that rivalry of the Union Jinx thing, probably as many times as not, the team that lost the first game won the championship game later on. Right, yeah. And I think the thing that built in me is an understanding that you've got to embrace the process. It's not who you are week 1 or 2 or 3. It's the process of getting to be a team that's improving and getting hot and at the right time and then playing well in the playoffs. So we simply, the only thing you'll ever hear us actually talk about is going 1-0, focus at what's at hand. And then when it regards to winning a championship, we talk about you got to get in the playoffs, got to get in, get hot, win your last game. And so the whole focus for us from that checking the box is getting in the playoffs. Well, how do you do that? Well, it starts off by just growing your team to being the best we can be.
My name is Josh Jackson, and I'm a sports performance training specialist at Next Level Athletics. I'm working alongside Mitch Allner with the Futures program from College Promoters to give these kids the athletic advantage they need by refining their speed, explosiveness, power, and all the things that make up a great athlete. We're going to give these kids everything and more that they need to accelerate their game.
Hi, I'm Mitch Allner with College Promoters Oklahoma, and with our Futures program, we're going to be working with the younger generation of kids because when it comes to sports, it starts at this age. We're going to be working with kids from 3rd grade all the way up to 6th grade, working on speed, explosion, but more importantly, we're going to be working on the skills of the game of football, ball handling, throwing the ball, how to carry the ball correctly, how to learn the game and what actually you're going to need to know on the field and not just how to run straight. We're going to provide a full experience to our kids and to our families that are involved. With our Futures program, we are investing in our kids' future.
For over 10 years, I've been fighting to recover millions of dollars on behalf of my clients that have been injured in car wrecks. The last thing you need to worry about is fighting against an insurance company. Let me fight against the insurance company so that you can focus on healing, feeling better, and getting your life back. I'm Anthony Gorospe, founder of Gorospe Law Group. Here at Gorospe Law Group, I fight for you. I fight to make sure your medical bills are paid. I fight to make sure you're paid for the time off of work. I fight to make sure that you're compensated for your pain and suffering. And I also fight to make sure that your car is either repaired or replaced. And the best thing is that you don't pay a single legal fee until your case is over. I understand the fear and the worry that you're going through. Let me fight for you. Call 918-582-7775 and set up your free consultation today.
Big Wheel Digital Media is a service-driven creative company that specializes in compelling video brand development and social web messaging. Big Wheel is based in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, producing powerful solutions for clients and partners at cost-effective prices. We are innovators and creators of Emmy Award-recognized entertainment to creative private industry solutions, movies, advertising, sports, gaming, and more. The team at Big Wheel have been there from concept up to delivering targeted results, surpassing expectations to meet client goals. Each of our clients have different goals, styles, and requirements. Our proven record over 2 decades documents our capabilities to deliver on time and on budget. From basic websites to brand design to million-dollar productions, we scale to meet each project with proven methodology and deliver creative triumphs. In our experience, players win games, but teamwork wins championships. Big Wheel's superior creative skills, combined with proven experience, market and technical knowledge in responsive collaboration, contribute to an all-in approach that wins for our clients and partners. Big Wheel Digital Media holds over 100 years of combined proven innovation and creative solutions surpassing expectations. Our operational wheelhouse is ready to engage for you. Call or email today to start the wheels turning to build momentum for your video initiative.
Is it time to give your home an upgrade? The remodeling experts from locally and family-owned ARRT Construction and Roofing can give your property a brand new look. From roof replacement, exterior remodel, to kitchen and bath remodels. Depend on our over 20 years of experience for high-quality remodeling work. We're a fully licensed and insured business, and we know how to get the job done right. It's not just construction, it's art.
Tell us about your team a little bit. Now, obviously, I know you got a lot of talent on this squad and a lot of talent across the board with your player. What are a couple guys on both sides of the ball that you kind of think would be highlighting, be watching this year?
Well, I think it's interesting on offense, we're replacing a lot of players. We had a really talented group a year ago, but we return our quarterback, Mason Willingham. We return our tailback, Emory Neely, and we return our best receiver, Cole Adams. Those 3 guys give you some weapons to build around. We've got a really good young group of receivers that we're going to build around Cole. We've got an outstanding young offensive line, has the potential. You know what potential means. You and I have done all this. It means we hadn't done it yet.
Right, yeah.
The offensive line has the potential to grow into being the best we've had. We've got young guys that are built for this, and they did really well in team camp and have, but we're going to throw them in the fire week 1, and it ain't going to stop. Defensively, we return our leading tackler in Braden Foster, inside linebacker. We've got Tyler Rich, who anchored the middle of the defensive line. Tyler's will be a 3-year starter in the D-line. And then Jake Adams in the back end has been a starter at the safety spot. A bunch of unproven guys, but again, I think it's a talented group. I think the summer went a long ways to us developing. We push hard through the 7-on-7 schedule and all those kind of things because you just got to get reps.
Yeah.
And we've gotten a little better. We're finding some linebackers. We're finding a back end that's starting to gel a little bit. But I think those guys will be our leaders on both sides of the ball because they're the veterans.
Well, especially defensively, it's nice to have a veteran all 3 levels of that defense to be able to help out some of those younger guys. Coaching, it is not a one-man show. I mean, we see your face behind Owasso and the name and everything when it comes to it, but staff is important. Tell me about your staff.
Well, every year I feel like I've got the best staff I've ever had, and it seems to continuing to grow. We've graduated a few of our dudes on to be head coaches and gone on to,
it's a good problem
to do that.
To have,
and
right?
It is a good problem, and it makes me really proud of guys like Bobby Klink and now Christian Hood at Catoosa, and now Levy Adcock that's at Rogers. I mean, we've got some guys that I love that have invested and are giving, it's their turn. But also have guys here that I can lean on. Antonio Graham's been my right-hand man for a long time. Played for me back in the early 2000s at Union. Has been in coaching. He GA'd with us at Tulsa. He came back. He's been our DC, assistant head coach, kind of the hands-on, do everything coach that we need. Zach Simmons and Justin Morrissey coordinate our offense. They've done it from day one. You said we're going into 6 years, and that's amazing. Those guys have been here with me the duration, and I think we're just better and better as how we work together. We've got a good crew of guys. Jaquez Washington, who's an Owasso guy, we got him back now in our secondary. Most of the coaches either played for me or coached with me at somewhere along the way, or in a few occasions, if I didn't know them, it's because the guys in my room are standing up for these guys and saying, let's hire, absolutely. Asa Poteet joined us a year or two ago, and I didn't know Asa other than by reputation, but I had guys that had worked with him at other places that just said, no, you're going to love Asa Poteet, and absolutely have. So got a great staff, and I know I've left a bunch of guys off, but really added 3 new ones this year with Jaquez. We added Tim Beecham from Sapulpa, who Tim and I had coached with back in the day at Union. And then I was able to hire Derek Lujan, who had played for us at Tulsa and was out coaching with his pops in Woodward. But D-Lou will be here helping with our D-line, and Tim with the receiver. So we got a great group.
It's a big staff. Big staff for high school. That's awesome. The community around here, I mean, it's crazy. I've been down here in Tulsa myself for about 20-ish years. I mean, what Owasso was when I first moved down here to what it's grown to now. And I'm not saying that football has been the whole thing when it comes to it, but you guys have been a big part of it. And I think especially in the time that you've been here, the facilities, the stadium, everything has grown. Tell me a little bit about the community and the support that they give your program.
I like to say that Owasso is like small town starting to grow up. I mean, we still have the identity of a community, a smaller community, being a burb, so to speak, bedroom community of Tulsa, but there's still a lot in Owasso that people identify with. Through the years, this has been a great baseball school. Larry Turner's been here and just winning championship after championship, and then got another one this past baseball season. So we've had that identity, and then we've slowly and surely been rebuilding that football identity as well. It's been cool to be a part of that. I think it was ripe. I don't think it's something that I did. I think it's something that was going on, and I just was blessed to join them in the process. Zach Duffield, their AD, the previous administration and the previous group of folks in the school board. I mean, what you're sitting in today, this facility is fabulous. It's on par with any other place in the area, and maybe better. This is one of the things that drew me. The commitment was here to have a big time support for athletics.
Gotta have
and
it.
you get into the community and you figure that out real quick. I mean, this is a place where there is no lack of fan support. We were fortunate in 07 to play in that first state championship the year I came back, and we filled the stadium. And you're just like, oh, okay,
all right.
this is a pretty special place. And they do that on Friday night on a regular basis. People will continue to see it. But we've been very blessed to be a part of just a great atmosphere.
If you were to pick one thing, the big difference between coaching high school kids and coaching college athletes?
Well, I think the easy one is the different level of parental involvement. You certainly deal with parents at the college level in recruiting. Past recruiting, you're not dealing with it on a daily basis. At the high school level, you deal with it a lot more regularly, a lot more of parents that haven't let their kids quite grow up yet and send them out. So that's the easy one to pick out. The other one that I think is interesting is, in some ways, even though the colleges have these huge staffs, the high school seems to have more help. I mean, we've got principals and assistant principals and counselors and teachers that are all investing, and they're helping with discipline, they're helping with accountability, the attendance, the school. At the college level, really all of that, even though you have a staff for it, that falls on the coaching staff. I mean, you're holding the kids accountable for being in class. Nobody else is.
Right.
You're the ones that's got to make sure their grades are right. You're the ones that have to, you know, if you get a call the night that you go to bed, you know, when I was in college, it's usually not good.
Right.
You know, put the phone down, somebody's picked up, somebody's in jail, somebody's gotten in trouble, somebody's where they're not supposed to be. You don't deal with that. Yeah, you don't deal with that quite as much at the high school level.
Yeah, gotcha.
I think, you know, one of the challenges we all have is those guys that are super talented, but they haven't figured it out. And you see every year at every level of football, guys that have the ability that don't make it. And you know, I didn't coin it. Trust me. You know, we've steal everything we can steal from everybody, but I like to say and like to repeat to our players all the time, how you do one thing is how a man will do anything. And so learning to be accountable to, you know, we talked earlier about going 1-0. It doesn't just happen on Friday night. We have to learn how to win in the classroom. We have to learn how to win in the community. You have to learn how to win about the other things, and that will transition you into winning at a high level athletically. And the guys we were talking about earlier are the ones that they think they can flip a switch on and off when they get out on the field. And you can get away with that for a while, but eventually it'll catch up to you.
Yeah, I mean, as many years as I've been involved in it and stuff, I mean, a lot of times you see the ones who have success early on don't exactly build the work ethic that it took for the ones that took a while. And when they catch up, the ones with the work ethic are usually the ones that keep on going on and pass. Not always the case, but yeah.
And it's rare, I think, in the coaching world too. If a guy was a great player that didn't have to grind, he struggles in becoming a coach. Sometimes the best coaches we have were those real blue-collar players that had to learn every little thing to get them to be able to be successful. And those guys usually can communicate it pretty well to other people.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it just takes learning a lot of different ways and stuff. And you know, you talk about the game of football. I always talk about football doesn't just teach you how to play on the field, it teaches you how to play in life.
Absolutely.
You know, it teaches, like I said, a lot of, I mean, how much time is spent in the game, outside of the game, to prepare for that Friday night game or that Saturday game or Sunday game if you make it all the way there. I mean, that a lot of people will see that part of it, but not all the time and work and effort that goes into it. And it's a lot to do it the right way.
We laugh in the staff because they'll hear me say this often. You know, people just think it happens. You know, they just think practice just happened. You know, and yet we were setting up for practice for 45 minutes. You know, people are going to say this interview just happened, and people were here an hour before setting up to do the things, and it doesn't just happen.
It doesn't just happen. That's right. Coach, appreciate your time today.
Glad to.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.